subscribers and non-subscribers. Welcome to another video. And if you've watched my last couple of videos, you'll know the situation here with this Porsche. So, last video on this, we were ready to take it for its MOT. We'd done everything, we'd checked everything out. Everything was looking great. We'd done all the jobs that we wanted to do on it. And I'd booked the MOT. What happened? I reversed it out of the garage and put my foot to the floor to brake, and my foot literally went to the floor and the car just kept on rolling. Thank God I was only doing about 5 miles an hour. I was able to stop it with a bit of pressure and a little bit of help from the handbrake, but essentially the car now has no brakes at all. So thank you for all those that voted on my poll to say who thinks this little guy is going to pass or fail. About 80% said pass. I'm afraid I have to let that 80% down. We never even got to the MOT station. But the confidence was there, wasn't it? Thanks for the confidence vote. So, what we're going to do today is fix the thing that's wrong with the brakes. And the thing that's wrong with the brakes, as you could probably guess by the state of the front of the car here, isn't any of the calipers. It's not leaking at any of the brake lines, it's the master cylinder. So, let me bring you in a bit closer and I'll show you exactly what we'll have to do to get this bad boy passing its MOT. Alright, so I suspect with a 90% degree of certainty that the master cylinder down here, the big kind of silver thing underneath the reservoir, the seals inside it have failed. So what I've done to check this is I've had all 4 wheels off, checked for leaks at all 4 brake calipers, and there isn't any. And chances are the car's been sitting for so long, they've lost some brake fluid, but we haven't lost any. So, what I'm going to have to do is replace this master cylinder, and we have a new one right here. So this, got this off Autodoc, came in about a week, not too bad price, can't remember. 40-50 quid, can't really remember to be honest, but I've checked it, it looks as if it's the exact match, goes in that way, and you need to either bench bleed this or do what I'm going to do and bleed it by using hopefully a helper or a stick, and I'll show you what I need to do that. But first of all, you need to get the old reservoir off, and before you do that you need to take all the fluid or as much as you can out of that, pop that off, which is held on by these 2 kind of rubber grommets here, remove the old master cylinder, new one in, brake lines on loosely, new reservoir on, fill it with fluid, and then bleed it on the, well, it's on the car. So I've done that before, bled it on the car. I've also bench bled them before. This way is just more convenient, and we're going to try it this way first and see how we get on. Right, nothing too scientific here. I've got my actual brake pump that I could use, but I can't be bothered. I just found this lying on the shelf, so there's not that much in here to do this with. So all you're doing is really out with the fluid and just putting it all in there. And you can see this fluid, it's practically brand new. Someone's had this replaced recently. Well, the previous owner did it, and I think the garage that maintained this are very good, so they probably have changed the brake fluid recently. So just painstakingly, it's not going to take that long. And when you're doing this with brake fluid, cover any bodywork and stuff, because this stuff will eat the paint and mark it pretty severely. So I'll take all of this out of the reservoir. I'll be about 10 minutes doing this, maybe not even. And once we've got all of that out, as much as we can out, we'll take off the reservoir itself. So let me go and do that, and we'll come back up and I'll drain most of this fluid out. Alrighty, so that's this off, and I just bunged the hole at the bottom there with a couple of plugs just to stop any drips getting anywhere. And that gives us enough room to get into both the bolts and take the cylinder off itself, plus the 2 brake lines. And I ended up having to use my little pump here just to get the remainder of the fluid out the bottom. There was just a little bit. I just got it sitting here in case of any drips. But most of it I got out with the turkey baster. Pretty good, eh? So we'll set that over there. And now what we'll do is just loosen the two brake lines and get those two, I think they're 21mm bolts off, and then get the old cylinder out. It's got no room to wiggle. May have to take the cylinder out and then slide it that way to get this brake line out. Let's see. This cylinder should just come out now in theory. May have to use a persuading tool. Maybe not. There we go, brake line out. And cylinder out. Now, okay, maybe there's a little leak there. It's not too bad though. But we'll replace it anyway, so we'll get the new one opened up and put it back in. Cool. Nice, there we go. New cylinder's on. Brake lines are just sitting in loosely. And I'll just unplug my little bungs on the reservoir tank here. Plug that back in, fill it up with fluid, and then we'll bleed the system. Right, so brake lines are just sitting in there loosely because we'll be bleeding it using these two nuts here. Oh. That's fine, as long as they're loose, they'll be absolutely fine. And then we shall refill this brake reservoir here. We'll get some new fluid. You believe that, you believe anything. We'll be using the fluid that came out of it because it is brand new. We got a little drip coming somewhere. Where are we dripping? No drips, people. That's fine, hold on. Stripping out the brake lines, that's fine. That's the bits we want kind of loose anyway. Hey baby, there ain't no easy way out. Yeah baby, and I won't back down. Right, okay. Right, we're at the min level there, just above it, between the min and the max. So what we'll do is, we shall leave it like that, and then we'll see if we can bleed this system here now. We're getting quite a little bit of leakage from the pipes here, but that's fine. We know that was going to happen because we've got them in loosely. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try and get someone else out here to help me. Jump in the car, press the brake pedal, and then once the brake pedal's compressed, we'll tighten these up, let the brake pedal out, loosen them again, press the brake pedal, tighten them both up, loosen it again, do that 4 times, 5 times, and that should be all the air bled out of the system. So let's give that a shot. Right, okay, so we're testing the brake pedal now. We're going to compress the brake pedal. My helper's in the car. Say hello, helper. Hello. Helper's in the car. Compress the pedal with the 2 nuts so the brake line's loose, and then when the pedal's fully compressed, we tighten both those up, let the pedal out, then repeat 4 times, 5 times. Right, so when I say go, I want you to press the pedal all the way to the floor and then hold it, okay? Got it. Now hold on a wee minute. Right, go. Whoa, stop, 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 stop. Woo! Too much. No, goodness, that was my fault. Oh dear, I've got brake fluid everywhere. Oh no. Well, it works. Brake fluid absolutely squirting out everywhere. Oh no. Right, hold on. Try again.
All the way, you sure?
Yeah, yeah, go.
Okay.
Stop, 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 stop.
Oh.
It's working though. I've lost a bit of brake fluid,
I
maybe.
couldn't even get it all the way to the floor.
No, it's working though. Give it a wee second, okay? At least we got that in video.
Yeah.
Brake fluid flying everywhere because I stupidly haven't tightened these enough. What do I do with my spanner? Like seriously, I just had the spanner in my hand. What have I done with this? How come I've lost the spanner? Hello? No, like seriously, I just had the spanner right in my hand. What have I done with it?
The video's probably captured it, you know that.
Video? Oh, there we go, I got the spanner. Hold on. At least you know the master cylinder's working. Because if it didn't work, there's fluid everywhere. Right, okay, let's try. Hold on, not yet, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Not yet. 2 seconds, oh sorry, I need to just tighten this bolt.
You could tell the tone in your voice. I was like, well, I literally got it halfway.
Yeah, and it totally went, didn't it?
Yeah.
How's that?
Do you want me to go now?
Yeah, go. Is that it all the way?
Okay, it's coming.
All the way down?
All the way.
Right, keep it pressed. You got it pressed?
Oh yes.
Right, keep it pressed, don't let it up, okay?
Okay.
I'll tighten these off. Keep it pressed.
I've got it.
Right, let it go. That's it. Right, minimum level is there. Right, we'll try that. What I'll do is just loosen the nuts off very slightly, okay?
Okay.
And I'll get you to try it again. That was funny though, wasn't it?
Didn't expect that.
Right, well, hold on. Right, slowly again, all the way to the floor.
Okay. Right, starting. That's all the way down.
Is that all the way down?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Keep it pressed, okay?
Okay.
Right, let go. I'll just take a 2-second break. Is that twice we've done it?
Yeah.
I'll do it 4 times.
All the way down, yeah? 3, 2, 1. It's all the way down.
Good, right. Right, let it up. All the way up.
That's all that.
Right.
Put off on it.
And we'll do one more, okay?
Okay.
Right, go again.
3, 2, 1.
And all the way up.
Foot off.
Right, so that foot off? Right. Well, the new master cylinder has given me a pedal back. But unfortunately, once it gets past the kind of point you would think it would stop, it does keep going if you forcefully push on it. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out where the fluid was coming out. All 4 wheels were dry, had all 4 wheels off. All the calipers were dry, all the lines around the wheel wells were dry, couldn't see anything dripping in the driveway. Then I jacked the car up on this side, and a huge big puddle of brake fluid started to pour out from right in the middle of the car, because it was all collecting on this panel. And this is the centre panel that's under the car up until about this point here, and it's been flipped around here, so it was pulling in here. And when I jacked the car up, it all started coming out. You can see it there, gathering in the corner. And we have a puncture, a hole in one of the brake lines. And it's the brake line going from passenger side to driver's side. Wait, I'll show you. Right, so this is the passenger side wheel well. And if you take the wheel arch cover off, like I've done here, you can get access to the kind of brake join or splitter or junction, whatever you want to call it. And you can see all the pipes coming out of that there. So, right, so you see this one here that's snaking all the way down there, and it goes in through there, and if I can get a good angle I'll try and show you. It goes right down past the power steering rack and right through to the other side of the car where the caliper is. Now it looks pretty good there, doesn't it? But I guarantee in the middle it will be like the Titanic. It will be going. So you have to disconnect it here at the junction. Get yourself you need to use a flare wrench. I'm just loosening this up in here, a wee bit at a time with the flare wrench, and then we will have to probably cut this at some point to get it out, because there's no way I'm going to snake this out without dropping the subframe. So we'll have to cut this and make new brake lines and put a union in, so we can do it in 2 stages. But yeah, that's been the problem. And because the Porsche has the under tray, it was difficult for me to see where a leak was coming from. So let me see if I can show you this a bit better. Hold on. There we are. So, excuse me. You can just see the top of that pipe there. Where is it? There we go. Can you see that? It's going right through the power steering rack, and it comes out the other end. So hold on. So this is the driver's side wheel well now, and there he is, see him? Looking rather crusty in that corner there, but I guarantee inside there, if you can look through there, his snakes all the way down there, and he goes down, he sits, that pipe sits right at the bottom, just above the subframe. You can see the fluid on the, kind of pillars there, and it'll be sitting against that plastic tray and rotting with leaves and water and stuff like that. So we'll have to cut this pipe out and disconnect it from the flexi hose. It comes in here. There he is at the bottom there, see him? Disconnect it there and cut it in some place so we can pull this pipe out, and we'll give it an inspection and see how bad it actually was. But it's when I press the brake pedal now, fluid just completely squirts out the middle there, and it drains the reservoir in about 5 or 6 pumps. So we've got a decent leak. Right, so there we go. That's that one out. You can see there, the fittings are quite decent on these. This one's not too bad because it's been covered by that plastic pipe. And we've got a nice little bubble flare there, a double bubble. Oops, focus, there we are. So what I need to do now is loosen up the other side. I might have to cut it here just to get it out, because I don't know, but I think these brake pipes have been installed first in the factory, and the subframe was bolted up underneath, because there ain't no way in hell I'm snaking this round the other side or vice versa to get it out. But we'll give it a shot, we'll try it first. So I'll go and loosen it up at the other side, and we'll see how we're doing after that. Alright, well, this one's put up a fight. So a regular little flare wrench didn't work, it just stripped it. And regular little spanners didn't work, they just stripped it. So got the vice grips onto it, didn't work, wasn't turning. So what I ended up doing was just grabbing a hammer, screwdriver, and whacking it right there and right there to loosen up the rust. Then I got the vice grips back on it, and the fitting, as you can see, is now loose and it's turning freely, and we'll get it off. Sometimes they put up a fight, particularly these ones that are in the wheel wells. The other side wasn't a problem because it was covered with the plastic panel, but you'd get there in the end. Next stage I've been getting out the heat gun and potentially just cutting the pipe and sticking a socket over the top and seeing if I could get it out that way. But we're doing it, it's coming, it's rotating. We'll get this out, and that'll be able to get the whole pipe out and see what how bad the hole is that's causing this leak. Alright, well, that's the brake line out. So that's the end that was in the passenger side. All the way down, I ended up just cutting it here because this part is the bit that was in the driver's side. And this part, although it's a bit crusty looking there, it's not too bad. I didn't have to look too long to see where my leak was coming from. Completely severed. Oh, focus please. See that? There you go. This bit joint was completely gone. I'm not even putting any pressure on that whatsoever, and the thing is just gone. So that's the reason we had a leak. Now all I need to do is remake these pipes, and I'll need to do a union to connect the two pieces. So this is all junk, this is all getting chucked out, and we'll just renew them completely with brand new brake pipes. So let's crack on with that. Alright, so now it's time to make up a new brake line going from the driver's side to the passenger side. And to do that, first of all, you need to check and get this in focus here, what type of flare your old brake line's got. And this one, come on, focus please, there you go. This one's called a bubble flare because the top of it's shaped like a bubble. Right, so what you need to do is make sure when you're putting the brake lines on, you use bubble flare or DIN style fittings, these little guys here, and do a bubble flare at the end of your brake pipe. So I'll show you one here that I've used before. So this, come on folks, there you go. Right, so this one here is a double flare. So it's not quite bubble shaped at the top, and it's more shaped like a kind of cup or a Y. And this one here is shaped more like a bubble. Do you see that? See the difference? So that's your double flare, which is usually the ones that you find on kind of older American cars and stuff. And most of the European stuff comes with this bubble flare, in my experience anyway, certainly the cars I've looked at. So there's the difference between the two. One's kind of got a wider hole at the top, the double flare, and the bubble one is shaped more like that. And the way you can kind of tell is the bubble one tends to have a flat lip at the bottom here, and this one's more shaped like a Y. Right, this one's kind of more shaped going up. I mean, inside, look at that. See how it's more shaped like a kind of inverted cone? There's that one, there's a bubble flare. So we'll do bubble flares on this car. And to do that, got a roll of copper brake pipe, various DIN fittings, a little cutter, some grease, pipe bending tool, and I've also got my old flare tool here that does four various sizes of bubble flare. Right, yeah, so that's what we need. This little attachment here goes over the top. I've had this for years. This one goes over the top, and you basically squeeze down the fitting here, and inside the little fitting is shaped like a bubble, basically a little dome. So that's how you get the bubble flare. And what I need to do now is measure, using a bit of wire or something, the total distance of this pipe, the rough shape of it, and see if we can replicate that shape using some new copper pipe. So let's go for that, and we'll see how we get on. Cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to flare a brake line. And I'm going to use this little handheld tool because I'll be doing one of the flarings at least certainly on the car, and this is handier than the bigger tool that I showed you earlier in the vise. Both kind of do the same thing, but I must admit I do quite like this one a bit better. So I'll show you how it works. So what you need is this little tool. You need 17mm socket. I think this is a 10mm, and a deburring tool, a cutting tool, a bending tool, which we won't need for this, but I'll show you that as well, and a length of brake pipe. So I've pre-cut this bit just to show you what to do, right? But when you've got your roll of brake pipe, to cut it, you simply put it in here, put it into the little cutting tool, tighten it until it's biting and relatively tight, then you spin this around a couple of times, tighten it a bit more, spin it around a couple more times, tighten it a bit more, and eventually ping, it will ping off, and you'll be left with a kind of nice neat cut, right? Now, you're going to get little shards and stuff at the end of this cut. It's not going to be absolutely perfect. Right, so as I was saying, you'll get a rough edge to it. So what I tend to do is get a little file, give it a couple of wee rubs down there, and then go kind of round the edge of it as well. And it just smooths it all out. It'll give you a better chance of getting a nice bubble flare. And sometimes if it's a file like this, a pointy one, you can put it into the hole of the pipe and give it a twist round to kind of deburr it. But I like these tools, these little deburrers. Theirs are pretty handy. You can put them in and it has the same effect, and it gives you a nice smoother edge and lip to do your bubble. Right, so that's the brake pipe prepared, if you like. So now you grab your little brake tool and you put it in here and you slide it in this hole with the nuts still loose, right? So with this tool, when the nuts are loose, you can slide your brake pipe in and you'll see it kind of keeking through that hole there, see it? Right, so I just like to leave it loose like that, and then you get the guide nut or bolt, put it in here, tighten it all the way down by hand, doesn't need to be super tight, and then you tighten up these two, making sure that your copper brake pipe is pushed hard against the end of this bolt. So you tighten up these, here's some entertaining music while you wait, right, and then you want to tighten this pretty tight, because this will stop the brake pipe sliding out when you do the bubble flare. Right, once that's tight by hand, I'll remove this, and you can see there hopefully that the brake pipe's kind of keeking right in line with this line here, and it's right lined up with that. It's not too far in, it's not too far out, and you just give this an uppermost tightens. Just hand tight, doesn't need to be torqued down or anything like that. And you get your brake pipe sitting ready to be bubble flared. So then what you do is you grab, oh, I've made a cardinal sin. Do you know what the cardinal sin is? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, right? I haven't put my fitting on. So before you flare a brake pipe, you usually have to slide these fittings on, unless you've not flared the end there. So in this one I've got the end flared here, I can't get it on. So what we'll do is, just to show you, we'll actually cut this pipe, cut this end off. Yeah, so that is one of the things that you're probably going to always do if you're doing a real brake line. Forget to put your fitting on before you flare it. So this one, I get to show you the cutter. You just spin the cutter round a couple of times, you'll feel it getting loose. Tighten it a couple of times again, spin it round, tighten it, oh, and it just pops off. And that allows me to slide that on. So imagine this is a longer length of brake line, and you were cutting it at one end, you'd flared it at the other end, and you've forgotten to put that flare on. You need to put this on first. Right? This example doesn't matter, but I'm just showing you what normally happens in real life. Then you grab your little flaring tool. In this case we're using this one, which I hope you can see that. It's got a indentation for a bubble, and then this one's got a point for making the Y that I showed you earlier on. In this case we're only using this one. Get a little tub of grease, give this a little dab, so it's got some on the top, and you screw it in at the end of your flaring tool, and you'll feel it meeting the pipe a little bit. And this is a 17mm. You just grab this and you want to tighten it until the bolt is flush with the metal part of the flaring tool, and that will flare your pipe perfect every time. You feel a bit of resistance, and it's time to stop, right? And pop it back. Chuck that in there, and then we loosen up our bolts and our flaring tool. Just enough to pop it out, and there we have it. Uno bubble flare. And just wipe the grease off it. See that? Nice little bubble flare. And then, if you're clever enough to remember to put your fitting on, that's where it stops, you see? Makes a perfect seat. The bubble flare. And you can screw that into your brake pipe fitting on your car. And that's how you do it. And then the bending tool is one of these guys. So if you had to bend this round a corner, put the pipe in there, the 3/16 size, and this bending tool, line it up with a 0. It will just curve it round. If you do a 90-degree turn and go all the way, bit of a short bit of pipe to show that one, but creates a perfect bend. You can manipulate this by hand, you know what I mean, it's not that strong, but doing it with the bending tool just gives you that neater curve. And you get a similar tool for straightening it that's kind of like wheels that you would push this in and out of and it will straighten it, but you know, unless it's really bad, you're not going to win any points for going a perfectly straight brake line that no one's going to see, are you? So there we go. That's how to do a brake flare. Now all I need to do is do that on the actual car. So let's go. Alright, so that's us. We're starting to feed this through now. And the way I've had to do this is connect it to the flexi pipe there, wrap it around the back, pre-bend it all, and put a union in there so I can have the other pipe going down to the passenger wheel well. So this union will be pushed back, and I'll show you the other side, which is just a giant piece of brake pipe sticking out. And all we need to do here is, oopsie, is tack it in there. There's a little clip just behind this pipe here that we'll pop it into. But before we do that, we'll bend it up here and into the junction box up there. And before we do that, we'll put our end fitting on, because you always forget them. So, and that should be a nice neat brake line that should hold up for years to come. Cool, right, I'll get back to it. Alright, so got this as the passenger side now, and I've got the new brake pipe snaked up here. I'm trying to screw it into this junction box here, whatever you want to call it. And unfortunately, it's just a case of having to painstakingly, you can see that, tighten this, because I can't get a full swing at it because of the wiring looms and stuff, but we're nearly there. We're nearly there with it. A wee 10mm. And there we go. You can feel it getting tighter and tighter now. And this is just snaking down here, and then it's going down underneath the frame next to the steering rack and out through the driver's side. So yeah, but okay, don't slag me for the not quite straight bit going down there. It's good enough, you know what I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough for me. You don't see it anyway, the wheel well covers it, the wheel well arch lining just completely covers it, so we're good. Anyway, I shall carry on with this, and as you can see there, got a wee bit to go just to get this nice and snug so this isn't loose, and that should be us, and we'll give it a test after that. Let's go, getting exciting. Alright, so we're looking good. I've just bled the brakes and made sure that the front two, and the front one in particular, for a little bit longer, the pipe that we replaced. So done that, we filled up with fluid, with the engine on, with the brake compressed, pumped the brake pedal a few times, engine off, we get a solid pedal. Start it, it goes down a wee bit, perfect. Then when you're pumping it, it goes solid straight away, and you don't have any leaks coming out. I've checked all the corners here for leaks, and on the passenger side, well, nothing. No lights in the dash, nothing. I should have said actually before I started this, I did get a brake warning light on the dashboard for the fluid, so, and the pads actually, now that I think about it, I think it was the pad light. Anyway, we're good. I need to get tidied up, but I think before we do the MOT, I'm just going to take the front bumper off again and install those two new radiators that are sitting right underneath my American flag over there. But my place is an absolute pit right now. Look at the state of it. I've been doing other stuff in the house and all the rest of it, and I had to move things around, so I'm going to tidy up a bit and get the front bumper off, and then do those in the next video. That's that done. Just need to road test it before I take it for MOT. Just basically up and down the driveway. Then we'll book it in for its MOT. We'll get the new radiators fitted at the front. They won't matter for the MOT, but we'll do it anyway. And that's all the major jobs, hopefully, done before we take it for its test So I need to get this place tidied up. I'll give it a rinse over. I'll put all the plastic panels back on, the wheel arch line and all the rest of it. What do you think? Do you think now it'll pass its MOT? Do you think I'll drive it out and something else will go wrong catastrophically, like that happened with the brakes? Or do you think it'll just think, now's my time, it's winter's coming, I'm a convertible car, now's the perfect time to MOT me and start using me? Maybe he'll say that. Who knows? But please, hit like, hit subscribe, comment below if you've got a Porsche and think there's something else I should be checking on this one, maybe even before I take it for MOT. And subscribe, and you'll see the outcome of this in the next video. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.